Oh my goodness!
I know. Been too long.
We're back.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, so basically, here's the rundown. So basically, I went to Utah. Well, actually, this video is gonna be out way before any of the videos we filmed for Utah because we filmed 3 videos in one night.
Mm-hmm.
None of them posted. None of them posted. I got one edited. I honestly gave up. And I was so tired. And then I came back and I had a bunch of school stuff to obviously do. And it wasn't very fun. But yeah. So none of those videos are going to be coming out after this. And I might cut some of it because half of it is just us talking about my Utah trip.
Right.
Upcoming Utah trip. So that already happened. It is May now. Those were filmed in April.
And then I had surgery.
Yep, she just came back from surgery.
So,
Her little weight loss surgery went amazing,
yup.
successful. So yeah, so that's our lives recently. We've been crazy
Busy.
busy. But we're getting a bunch of videos done this week and next week, and we're just gonna post them all. And there's gonna be a bunch of videos on the channel.
So
And then
sorry for just
yeah,
bombarding.
I'm so sorry for that little hiatus that no one planned for. Um, but we're gonna try to get on a normal schedule when I'm in summer because I'll have one class during the summer.
Same.
Yeah, we'll both have one class, so we'll be chilling during the summer. But
Yup.
yeah, that's basically
Our life for the last
that's
couple
been
months.
life. It's been volleyball, school.
Surgery.
Yeah, it's been
Work.
oh my god, it's so crazy. Ugh. And I was going to say something else, like I was going to like talk more about something. I just don't remember what it was.
I don't know.
But yeah. Um so yeah, that's the whole gist of why we were gone forever. But we're back and I'm going to post on Instagram and TikTok, I promise. I will post videos from the like clips from the mother
Oh, Mother's
video we
Day.
did.
The
The
mother episode.
mother episode of
That's
Reddit.
right.
I think that's the last video I posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's been a while. But I will post clips from that, and then of course I'll post these videos, get all these stuff edited. We'll post a lot more. So
Yeah.
go follow Instagram, go follow TikTok. A bunch of funny content on there because we're out of pocket.
Yes.
And just so you guys know, most of these videos that I'm filming, like right now, we're filming in the middle of the day because we don't have time to film at midnight. I think that was our problem. Was like we were both so exhausted we'd pass out at like 10 and then be like,
Oh,
oh,
in Vegas. And all
yeah,
that.
like we
Yeah.
just did not.
But with summer coming up, it'll be a lot easier though.
Yeah.
So,
So stay tuned. We're here, guys. I
Yes.
promise we're here.
we will do our midnight ones. I
we will do our
promise.
midnight ones here soon. Probably do some this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um, jeez, like it's just been crazy. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. Did you watch the Met Gala at all, or have you seen any of the outfits?
I did. TikTok. Thanks to TikTok. Hopefully
TikTok
it never
has
gets canceled.
been.
But that's
Okay,
how I
yeah,
find out.
We need to not cancel TikTok.
That's how I find out
please.
half my stuff.
Yeah,
but
it was like streaming on TikTok, like someone
yes,
was
Demi
live.
Lovato. Love her. Her
Oh my
dress
God,
was
Demi
smashing.
looks
She looked
so
gorgeous.
good.
She's my absolute favorite. I love her.
Yes.
So I loved her dress.
hmm
There was a lot.
There was a lot of
there.
people. LaVey, I don't know if you know her, but she's gorgeous. Her dress slayed. It was like so floral, so pretty.
Yes.
A bunch of people were talking about it at school today. And then my K-pop little boy group, they were the first K-pop group ever invited to the Met Gala.
Oh.
So they were there, and a bunch of they were not treated very great. A lot of the people weren't treated very great, I guess,
That's
last night.
horrible.
I know, I guess I saw this video, and it was like the photographers, and they were like making fun of them, and they're like, oh, how do you say red in Korean? How do you do this? How do you do that? And then, and half of them aren't even Korean, like they're from Australia. And so
Yeah.
it's like, it was just really annoying. And then,
Ugh.
but they didn't do that to the other girl that was also from Korea. And then Zendaya was also like,
Zendaya snatched
Zendaya
that.
looked
Oof.
so good. Oh my God. But Zendaya was like, they were completely fine with her, but she was like, I like heard the stuff that they were
Yeah.
saying to some other people and it was not okay. But yeah, apparently those photographers are getting canceled because
You
everyone
know,
went after
I
them.
was disappointed the Trey and Taylor weren't there, Trav and
I know.
Tay,
Taylor's on
but
her tour though.
I know, so it's understandable. But I would have loved to
Go
see them
listen to
make a
the
Met Gala like
yeah,
entrance because they would have
especially like
rocked it.
Travis because I feel like no has a football player been in the, probably,
No, but
but it's just like
he's
crazy.
so like he's a fashionista, as his mother would say,
Yeah.
and I feel like his tux would have been complimenting her dress would
Yes.
have been
Ugh,
timeless.
if only she wasn't on tour.
I know.
Go listen to the Tortured Poets Department. That album was pretty good. I mean, I personally didn't like some of the songs. It was really freaking long. 33 songs long.
Oh Jesus.
I love a couple of them. So those are like on
We
my
need a
playlist.
record player in here.
We
Somewhere
do.
in this room.
We do.
Don't know where we would put it, but
Somewhere, guys.
mounted on the wall.
Yeah, for real. Mounted on the wall. But yeah, I just thought I would bring up the Met Gala because that just happened literally last night for us and
Oh,
it was
so
so
gorgeous.
cool.
Some of their dresses were a little questionable on some.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, you wore that? Ooh.
Well, I mean, I feel like every year there's some questionable. Like
Oh.
I know Doja wore that cat costume a couple
Oh
years
my
ago,
god, yeah.
and I was like, "What is she
But I
doing?"
gotta say
She
though,
ate
my
though.
all-time favorite was Zendaya and Demi Lovato. Because
They
Demi,
both looked amazing.
for
I
the
mean,
trauma that
Zendaya.
she's been through, and
Yeah,
to now, that girl's done a whole 360 of her life,
yeah.
and
I love
she's
Demi.
gorgeous as hell. So I love.
Zendaya always eats with her
Yeah,
little.
she does. She rocks it.
Yeah,
Surprised Tom wasn't with her though.
I know. They like are so secretive about it though. They don't
But I kind of like it
appear
though.
together.
They
I do
keep it
too.
private, and that's why you
Yeah,
don't hear
I
about their
respect it.
relationship.
I respect it a lot.
They go out in certain places together, like sporting events and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but you don't see them post very much because they like to keep
yeah.
it private,
I love them.
which keeps a relationship lasting longer.
Yeah, Tom Holland and Zendaya are like my ride or die. Like I love them. They're so
Right?
amazing. I love both of
If they
those
don't get
people.
married, I don't know.
I don't believe in love. Just
Right.
kidding. But yeah. So basically today's going to be obviously by the title, probably, hopefully, have a title on the video.
Hopefully.
It's a true crime episode.
Or just put a
Um
mystery question mark.
yeah. It's a true crime question mark cuz I told her earlier what we were doing, and I found this video by Rotten Mango, Stephanie Sue. I adore Stephanie Sue so much. I love her to death. She's such a good crime reporter, and she did a case. Or she posted these videos, and they got taken down because literally Korea was like coming for her.
Oh,
Not
jeez.
not like seriously like that, but like
But
she
like
was scared that she was gonna get like like she wasn't gonna have a
letters,
career. Yeah,
yeah.
she kind of got some emails, and so she took these videos down. She just re-uploaded them a couple days ago, and it was amazing. But there's two videos in one episode of her thing, so that's what I watched. So I technically have two stories,
Merged into
but they're
one.
all revolving around hospitals. So this one's just hospital drama,
Dun, dun, dun.
hospital true crime cases that went really bad and wrong. And yeah, we're gonna start off with the really strong one
Okay.
that this was my main focus of the whole video was this topic. And then we're going to move into more of a smaller case, but I still think it needs to be talked about just because of how hospital staff and police are, which we all know how police are. They can
There's
be a
good
little
seeds and
funky.
bad seeds.
Yeah. But that can be in any profession.
No,
This
yes, that's
Both
true.
of these cases are from South Korea. So, yeah.
I'm excited we're doing medical stuff.
Yes, I know. Just from her she's got surgery, she's in nursing school. So, we're doing medical stuff today. That's what I thought like let's do medical stuff just because you just got out of surgery.
Yeah.
So, it works out perfectly.
Ooh, that'd be good for our Reddit episode.
Yeah, I was going to
too.
say I think our Reddit episode's going to be medically based.
Yeah.
So, stay
So.
tuned for that. But yeah, usual disclaimer. We're not professionals.
Mm-mm.
I did a bunch of research on this video, but I don't mean any harm to anyone who is involved in these cases. I don't want we're not professionals at all. So don't take this seriously.
Nope.
I mean, this is just what from all the resources I gathered and I just compiled it into one little document and I'm just reading off of it. So I hope that's good. Sources include things like Rotten Mango, and then I have like a little clip that I'm gonna read from the Brett Johnson MD page. It's DallasPlasticsSurgeons.com. So I'm just gonna read like a little snippet from that, but that's the website that I got that information from. And yeah, let's get into
Dun
it.
dun dun.
Okay, so before we get into the actual case and everything like that, our first story is about ghost doctors. And I will explain what
You're like,
ghost doctors are.
ooh, ghost.
No,
Oh.
no, and not like paranormal. Like we're getting like this ghost comes in and just like does surgery on you type deal. That would be crazy,
That'd
but
be
no.
awkward and weird. I'd be like,
Yeah.
what anesthesia am I
Yeah,
on?
what drug am I on? Because this is crazy. But no. So we're going to be talking about ghost doctors in this first story. But before I get into ghost doctors, before I tell you guys what they are, I just want to give you like a little rundown of South Korea. South Korean beauty standards, obviously, every country has their beauty standards. In America, I think because we have so many people living here, it's really diverse. But I know a lot of it's like blondes, blue eyed, like curvy body, like perfect face, cheerleader type look.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's a pretty good
Explanation.
of our beauty standards in
Mm-hmm.
America. Korean beauty standards are very very strict as well. It is actually known there that pretty people get jobs. So that's why plastic surgery is so prominent in Korea because you're like
Ugh.
because if you sorry, excuse me, if you have a flaw in your face or something like that, but you're smart, it's like, okay, you have one thing going for you. If you're pretty, but you're not as smart, it's like, okay, you have another thing. If you're both, corporate companies are going to want to hire you. I don't know why it is the way it is.
That's
I mean,
so weird.
I have, like, it is kind of the same thing here. Is like, if you're pretty, you're probably going to get a job as well. But it's more known in Korea that those are the
Yeah,
beauty
and it also has to do
standards.
with personality too. I think here,
Yeah.
personality more here than it does with
And don't get
looks.
me wrong, it's this like personality in Korea is obviously amazing. I'm just saying it's more well known that that's
The
some
looks
like
get you where
your parents will tell you, like if you have Korean parents and you live in Korea, like they'll tell you, be like, hey, like I know Stephanie Sue, she's Korean, and I guess her mom, like when she was little, be like, hey, like you have to like go rub your jaw in the shower so that like you'll have like a V line, like
so
a V jaw.
weird.
But like that's
But
just
that's their
it's just
history. That's
superstitions, it's
their.
just traditions, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just what Korea's come from. So there's like five like main companies in Korea that all these people want to work for. Obviously, everyone can't work for those five companies, but they're super super huge. They run Korea. They run the world almost. I mean, a lot of them are in the US and our states. Like LG, Hyundai, like those type of companies.
Yeah.
They're here as well. So those are what people work towards, and to do that, a lot of people get plastic surgery. And so that's just what I wanted to tell you guys in the beginning because I feel like that was just important to know just kind of Korea's background and culture and how their traditions are. But let's get into what these ghost doctors are
Dun dun
because
dun.
this is terrifying. I feel like I'd rather have a paranormal non-existent ghost operating on me than this.
Jesus.
Because ghost doctors are unlicensed, unqualified doctors that are allowed to perform surgery.
Huh?
Not allowed because it's illegal, but they perform surgery.
So they get their information from a textbook, but don't
Not
take
even
class.
sometimes.
Internet.
Not even
They
sometimes.
just, oh, Hail Mary, hope this is the right spot I caught.
Yeah, basically. Well, because, okay. So it happens in every industry, but it's very, very prominent in the plastic surgeon industry. The plastic surgeon surgery industry. I don't know how to say that. You get it. Mainly happens with plastic surgery. Because it's easier to get away with it in plastic surgery because
Makes sense.
you're not like cutting someone open and rearranging their organs and then
You're
sewing them
like
back up.
nip
You're
and
just
tuck.
like like cutting something off here and doing this here, and so it's easier to hide it. It is illegal. I'm not. It's illegal.
We're not condoning it.
No,
Go
it's
to school.
yes.
Get your
Please
degree.
go to school. And most of these people were like wannabe surgeons, but they were in the medical field sometimes. Most of the time, it was like dentists who like wanted to be surgeons, or like pharmacists who are like, I want to try out surgery, and then like nurses
Jeez.
that are like, I can definitely do this, and the surgeon's just like, yeah, go ahead.
No.
But
No.
there are certified and famous like plastic surgeons. Like we have
Yeah.
like sort of like famous doctors in like America. It's just like famous surgeons and like all that stuff. So in Korea, they have like these really famous plastic surgeons that like I'm sure there's some here as well. I just don't know about them because I don't look into plastic surgery. Um, but they have like these famous, well-known doctors running a company, and these doctors tend to get booked and booked and booked. So to receive more money, they double or triple or quadruple book their
Oh,
times,
Jesus.
and then I'll explain it more, but they basically go from room to room. They start the operation and then they leave. And then this ghost doctor comes in who isn't on file. So like this person, yes,
No, no.
we'll go
Go.
we'll go later, okay? I got you.
Later.
We're filming then.
Oh, baby. About to lock the door. Sorry.
That's the little one again. I feel like she always pops up. It's so
Even though
funny.
the sign's on the door.
Yeah, she's like, you should put your sign on the door so I know you're filming. And then we put the sign on the door, and she's like, can we go swimming? Like,
Right.
but yeah. So anyway, then these ghost doctors will come in and operate on you, and then they'll leave, and then the real surgeon will come in and close you up, basically, and
Yeah.
then they'll leave. So it's like, so you pay for this famous, really well-known surgeon, and then this random guy comes and operates
Oh,
on you.
creepy.
Exactly. So, oh, I said in my notes, one known plastic surgeon said, and then in quotes, it just says KS because I did not find the quote that I was supposed to put right there.
Well, that's my
But he
initials, so let's
basically,
not use that. Just kidding.
yeah, but he basically said, like, to run a successful business, I'm not putting words in his mouth, this is a paraphrase of what I remember. He said something along the lines of running a successful business is based on consultations. So these famous doctors will do consultations. They'll
Which is
seal
normal.
the deal yeah, they'll seal the deal with the patient. And at that point, they have your money. They have you signed a waiver. So at that point, they don't really care how it goes
That's so
after that.
scary.
It is extremely
I couldn't
terrifying.
imagine if that happened to me during surgery. Like I did everything,
Like,
signed it,
but you
and I met
wouldn't
my doctor and
know.
I know. All I remember from my surgery was, okay, we willed you back. They slapped my arms like a cross, put the mask over me, and I was
You were
out.
out, bro.
So I wouldn't know.
Exactly. That's what's scary. You don't know. Okay. But yeah, those are ghost doctors.
Oh,
And this case is literally about a ghost doctor, but it went wrong.
oh, of course
Everything
it
went
did.
wrong with this kid, and I feel really bad because this kid, his name is guys, this is Korean. Kwon Dae-hee. I
One
think
day
Kwon Dae-hee. We're just gonna call him Dae-hee because
he,
that I know that Dae-hee's right. I don't know if his last name's right, but I'm pretty sure it's Kwon. I'm pretty sure that's how she pronounced it. I'm so sorry if it's wrong.
we don't
But
speak Korean.
yeah, I only speak a little bit because my cousin is Korean. I have Skyla, the
Oh,
little one. She talks to me in Korean
okay.
like I can understand her, and I really only pick up on a couple words.
I'd be like, huh? I'd be speaking Spanish at that point.
I know, I'm like, I know Spanish.
Yo quiero.
Like, what do you want, babe?
Right.
But yeah, so Day he was a 24-year-old man. Everyone described him as like warm and humble and kind. It was said that on like Mother's Day or no, it was on his mom's birthday every year. He would make like this seaweed soup that they make that
Ooh.
it's like a tradition in Korea to make like these soups, and you're supposed to have it every day for every year for your
Oh,
birthday.
that sounds good.
And like it was said that like it probably wasn't that good, but he would spend all day in the kitchen
Aw.
just trying to make it for his
He's
mom.
14?
24.
Oh, 24. I was like, whoa.
24.
I was
He's
like
older.
14 doing that. Okay, more power to you.
Yeah, no, 24 years old. He was really well in school, and by at 24 he had already served 2 years in the army, which
Okay.
in Korea
Period.
you
That's
yeah,
normal.
it's pretty normal, but you also don't have to serve until you're 30. So he did it pretty early on in his life.
Get it over.
Yeah. So he did 2 years in the army, and as I guys told you, Korean beauty standards is very strict, and in Korea, jawline are like you're supposed to have like a V jawline, like those are the standards, like a really V sharp, prominent jawline. And so he wasn't like sure if his jawline was up to standards, and he kind of got bullied for it in school. He's like,
Oh,
"Oh, you're just like," they would call him names and be
F
like,
you
"Oh, you
bullies.
need like," I know, I hate bullies, but it's just like they would say that he's like a little chubby and like on the chubbier side,
Chubby's fine.
but he really wasn't. Like I saw pictures of him, and I'll try to find one. But he really wasn't like chubby. I mean, he didn't have like obviously a sharp jawline because that's what he wanted to, get known for. Like that was him.
Oh, he's handsome. He's not
Yeah, like he's
chubby.
not. He was
Oh,
fit. I mean,
yeah, he looks
he was
fit.
in the army. Like he. Sorry, there's a lot of Condehees. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
But yeah, that was him. So it wasn't very weird at all. But anyway, he was bullied in high school for it, and he had a consultation with a very, very famous surgeon. This surgeon was known for jaw plastic surgery.
okay.
So he
So he
saved up.
went to the right field.
Yeah, he saved up all this money, and he got the surgery scheduled, and he was so excited, and his parents were like, dude, you don't have to do this. It's okay. Um,
Like they didn't
like
pressure him
we're
into it.
no, like they told him like don't do it. Like you're perfect the way you
Oh,
are.
good parents.
And his brother said the same thing, and he was like, but this is something I want to do for myself, which is very understandable. Like people do surgeries for themselves, and yeah, I mean, you just got weight loss surgery. Like it's a very, very like
It's a personal
it's
thing
a personal thing, and
about
if you want
self
to do it,
esteem, and
yeah, if
yeah.
you want to do it, totally go for it. So he still went on with the surgery, and the surgeons promised that it was going to be super quick and easy in and out type of surgery.
Like
Where
not very invasive, right?
yes and no, because I'll
Well,
tell you how
it's
jaw surgery is done. But they told him that it was going to be 2 hours, hour and a half at least, 2 hours at most
which makes sense for that
for
type of
jaw
surgery.
surgery. And then they told him, they're like, oh yeah, you can probably even like get the subway home. I mean, your face will be a little messed up, but you'll get, which already is a little
That's
weird.
sus.
So he like didn't really like tell his parents like, hey, come pick me up after surgery. I
Mm.
assume this is my assumption because there wasn't anything that I read or heard about him telling his family like, can you come pick me up from the hospital, which is what normally, and at least in America, is what you do.
You have somebody with you,
Yeah, to come out, or like somebody knows like, hey, come pick me up around this time when
or
I'll
I'm
be done
getting
with surgery.
discharged this day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but he was told he'd be discharged the same day. Um,
that's weird, but okay.
Little interruption here. Jawline surgery is basically where they cut off like this outer
Mm-hmm.
lining of your skin, and of inside of your mouth and outside of your mouth, and to find your jawbone, and they basically just shave it off with like a saw-like tool until
Mm.
they get the desired shape that you wanted, and then they just stitch it up.
Oh, the
Stuff.
swelling, the
I know.
pain. No, thank
Inside your
you.
mouth too. It's a
Mm-mm.
very painful surgery. I remember Stephanie Sue said that like it was like they would like grate it off like a block of cheese. Like that's
They
what she
have probably like a
compared it.
grinder
Yeah, it's
and like
basically a
shape it.
grinder.
Yeah,
Very, very painful.
it's weird.
But yeah. So this is the timeline. I made a timeline of this surgery, and then I'm gonna tell you the timeline, and then I'm gonna tell you what happened in depth.
Okay.
So at 1 p.m., this is when they started the operation. The famous surgeon, the surgeon that was supposed to do the surgery, we're just gonna call him like the real surgeon. He started the operation at 1 p.m.
Okay.
An hour later, that surgeon leaves the room.
Mm.
He's just gone. He started the operation, but he left the room, and a new doctor walks in. And this is the ghost doctor. Now, the ghost doctor works for 30 minutes until like about 2:30. And then at 2:30, they switch, so the main doctor comes back and operates a little more. At this point, you're already almost an hour to almost 2 hours in. At 3 p.m., the main doctor leaves, and Dehi is left open on the operating table for 30 more minutes without anybody in the room.
Oh my god,
I
the
think
infections.
exactly.
Uh,
It's so
that's
that's so
risking it
unsanitary.
so much for bacterial infection, any infection you can think of. And it also gives a chance for the skin to die because the oxygen, like, if
Yes.
they didn't pack it, if they didn't, like, keep it, like, I don't know, moist. I don't know how they do it in surgery, but you have to keep it, like,
You have to keep it sterile.
sterile and secure.
But yeah, so there's like I think there was like one nurse in there while he was open on the operating table. But you'll see in a second, none of these people cared because the ghost doctor comes back in and closes up Daehi 30 minutes later and leaves about at 4 p.m. At this point, they started the operation at 1 and is now 4. So,
So
what,
3
3 hours?
hours?
More than the time he was
Oof.
promised. An hour more.
Yeah.
Um, so the main doctor, or sorry, the ghost doctor had left, but the main doctor had come back to like close up. So the main doctor did like close up Daehi
Okay.
professionally, and then all the doctors left. They left for the day. Like they're like, this is my 9 to 5. This I have to leave now. So this, but it was said that the anesthesiologist would come back to make sure that Daehi had woke up. Mind you, the anesthesiologist was not in the room at any time during the operation. He put Daehi to sleep
And left?
and then he left.
What the?
I'm pretty sure that is what was said.
Oh no.
When I keep saying I'm pretty sure, a lot of this is very
Speculation.
gray. Well, not speculation because they did have CCTV, but it's a lot of gray area because it was translated from Korean to English.
Yeah.
Not so it wasn't the exact like it wasn't very like clear.
Makes sense.
Oh, sorry. 7:30 Daehi is in the recovery room, which is very the timeline at this point didn't make sense to me because it's like, okay, he's been sitting there from 4 to 7:30 and then now the anesthesiologist comes back at 9 and freaks out because I'm going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
So Daehi's surgery went quote unquote well, not really. But the nurses were watching him. Another quote unquote. They weren't watching his vitals, and there's CCTV footage of the nurse in question scrolling on her phone, fixing her makeup, literally not even paying attention
What
to
you
Daehi.
shouldn't do, especially during work or surgery.
Yeah, not even paying attention to Daehi because she didn't realize that there was literal blood dripping from Daehi's mouth the whole time. And so she
revoke her license if they even get license.
Yeah.
The nurse was there.
So she this part isn't very clear if it's so okay, back up. So she didn't realize the blood dripping on the floor. She realizes eventually and gets the doctors and surgeons to come back, and this is when the anesthesiologist comes back and sees that Daehi has not waken up and he's been out since 1 p.m. So this person's now unconscious. And this part wasn't, I don't know if she did this while watching him or when the anesthesiologist showed up and they tried to fix everything. But it is said that she mopped up Daehi's blood 13 different times because that's how much he was bleeding.
I would have got the surgeon right as soon as that one left and then come back within 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, none of them really cared, unfortunately. And
I wouldn't even let the first surgeon leave.
yeah, well, I'll let you know later a little bit more in depth, but all of them are getting benefits from this. Like, it's not like nobody disagrees that this ghost doctor isn't okay because they all agree. They're all getting money and they don't really care.
Ugh.
And it's very, very sickening. But basically, she had mopped up his blood 13 different times. Okay, an average 24 male, has about 1.5 gallons of blood flowing through their body constantly. And you need all of that. If not, maybe more or less. You know, it varies, of course, by person, by age. I assume everyone's blood count isn't this exact same. But men normally his age have around 1.5. That's the estimation. He lost 2/3 of that blood.
Holy, so blood transfusion is what he needs.
Which is about a gallon of blood.
Yeah.
So he only had like half a gallon of blood in his body.
Poor guy.
They couldn't put more blood into his veins because his veins had shrunk so much because they were just trying to push blood through his body. Because I don't know if you guys know, but when you lose blood, like if your vein is like this big, and as you lose blood, it gets progressively smaller because it's trying to push.
Well, then your body's dehydrated, your body's shutting down.
Yeah, your body's shutting down.
Everything's just malfunctioning.
So yeah, the anesthesiologist comes in, asks if he woke up, finds out he didn't wake up, find out he's literally bleeding all over the floor. Oh my god, I in a second, like when we switch, I want to show you I'm going to show you the CCTV. All
Okay.
I might put it up here, but I don't know if I'm going to show it because it's pretty
Yeah, I want to
um
see this. Curious.
yeah, let me find it real quick. But I'm going to try to keep talking about the case. Um so yeah, the doctor came in, started freaking out. They decided to call the oh, here it is. Wait, is it? No. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to find this real quick. But oh yeah, here it is. Look, so she literally that's how much blood was on the floor. And she does that several times while they're trying to save him. You can see it getting
Oh my
progressively
god.
worse. But basically what I'm showing her is there's literally just a puddle of blood
And
underneath the
the
operating
nurse
table.
is literally
Just
mopping in
mopping it up,
between.
mopping
Like
it
no
up.
care.
But basically, this anesthesiologist and the surgeon, they called the ER and they're like, hey, we have a guy, he's conscious, he's okay, but I think he needs a blood transfusion. So we're just gonna send him over and it shouldn't be that much of a problem. He just needs a little blood, the surgery went fine, everything's good. But just expect him coming. And the ER's like, okay, cool, like we'll get the blood ready. Um, that was not the case. This guy was clearly in critical condition, and when he showed up at the ER, everyone was like freaking out, like, "What? Who is this guy?" Because this is not what we signed up for.
Yeah.
So the surgeons tried to blame it on the ER and was like, "Oh, he was fine at our facility, but something must have happened over there." And the ER was like, "No, we literally have a phone call of you telling us this."
Right?
So Dahi's ghost doctor, the ghost doctor that performed Dahi's like surgery, he didn't have a plastic surgeon license. He was studying to be a general doctor.
Oh my god, that's totally two different fields.
I don't even think he had a license. Like
General
a
surgery and
general.
plastic
Well, I
is.
don't even think that he had a general doctor license. He didn't want to be a surgeon. He wanted to be a doctor.
Well, then why are you performing surgery? Because those are two completely different
He
things.
just wanted to try it out.
Oh my god.
I don't mean to
Oh.
laugh, but it's like you just
It's
want to try it out.
like, right? That'd be me. Like, let me try being a firefighter or something crazy.
Yeah, like oh my, yeah. It was so bad. So he didn't really have a license, and yeah, so the surgeons offered up Dahi's mom the CCTV footage because I don't think they thought that she actually was going to take it. But she took it. She was like,
I
"Yeah,
would have.
give me that CCTV footage of the operating room." This bless her heart. She studied every single second, wrote down notes, printed every file out. She had all of her sources. She found everything out that they were doing, and she had read Dahi's bucket list after he passed, because he of course died after this. Like there was no
Yeah, I was gonna say if he lived.
there was no
Oof.
saving him after losing that much amount of blood. So Dahi passed away, and Dahi's mom read his bucket list, and he number 15 on his bucket list was that he wanted to make a difference in the world. So Dahi's mom brought the CCTV footage, studied all of it, of course, and she took the surgeons to court. And on May 2019, Dahi's mom won, what was it? $381,000.
Which is a lot for them.
It's a lot for Korea. Yes.
Yes.
It's a lot for Korea because I was going to say in America
I'd be going for millions.
we see like millions, but the whole like for a Korean
Money
case,
system's different.
money system is different, and for Koreans cases, you don't really see a lot of money.
No.
So it's really unfortunate, honestly, but they got a lot. This was considered a large amount of money for what had happened. Um, the three doctors, the famous surgeon, the ghost doctor, and the anesthesiologist, they were all facing criminal charges for manslaughter. I would I would like to put my little input in here. I think the nurses should have
Mm-hmm.
also received some sort of
I agree
punishment,
too.
but I don't think they did.
I 100% agree because as a
You
nurse,
watched blood drip out of his
so
mouth
they teach us in
for
school,
hours.
like, we have to
Sorry.
take in week of our clinicals, like week 3, we have to take an oath ceremony that basically says, like, we protect and blah blah blah, protect her. I forget how the whole oath goes, but we literally have to take an oath.
Yeah.
The oath ceremony, and then at the end we get our bachelor's degree, and then we take the big state board test.
Yeah.
But it's like an oath. You have to take care of your patients, and
Mhm.
also you need to cover your own ass, protect your license if they have one over there.
Well,
Here,
I no, they have license over there, but yeah,
but that
it
nurse should have been revoked
revoked
too.
immediately. And then in May of 2022, the head of the clinic, so the real surgeon again, was fined $5,600, which is actually less than he paid for his surgery.
That's freaking ridiculous.
Which it's so much money, but it's like you're basically giving back the money that he paid, and was like, yeah, just take this. Just take
Yeah,
one out of thousands of patients that I've had. Take
right.
their money,
Like
and then
his life didn't matter. Here you
yeah,
go. Here's
like
chump change.
basically like here's his life back.
Yeah,
Is $5,600, which
it's
no, it's
crazy.
not. He's worth so much more.
Damn,
Um,
that was cheaper than my surgery. Sorry, I'm like, wait, hold up.
hold up here.
I wouldn't want to
Um,
get surgery now. It's
which
there.
again, it might be a lot more in won, which is Korean currency. Hi, Editing Ally here. I just wanted to clear some things up because the next part you're about to see is us trying to go into a deep dive of Korean won compared to USD. We completely got it mixed up. So Daehee paid 5,600 USD, so United States currency, whereas that $5,600 in the United States is almost, I believe, 7 million Korean won from the research that I just did. We plugged the search in with the 5,600 being the won he paid. That is not correct at all. I'm so sorry for the mix up. If you continue to watch through, I put little text boxes that will let you know what we did wrong and what we're saying that is wrong. But just so you know, he paid nearly $7 million for this surgery. In his currency here in the US, it would be 5,600. So that's why the mix up was. We thought he paid like $4 USD. That was like nonsense. So if you want to watch us, you know, totally mess this up and butcher everything about currency and money, go ahead. But if you don't want to, I'll put a timestamp right here, and just you guys can skip through it if you want to. But thank you and bear with me, please. This was our first episode back, so it was really hard. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I want to see. But, well, so here, that amount of money that he paid is worth $5,600, but I'm pretty sure one is more valuable. Like, I don't know. I think our money is,
Was it 5,600 yen that he paid? Right, the
it's
money.
called won.
Won?
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure it
yeah. I
is.
thought it was yen.
That's China.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's won, but,
I want to see what that results to. Hold on. In
I don't know.
America. While she talks, I'm gonna Google.
I don't know, because I think our money is, I want to say it's worth more than
How do you
Korean's
spell it?
money. I think it's just WON, no? Cause I don't know. I'm so bad at Korean stuff. I should know more. My little cousin's Korean.
Won and Korean money. Here we go. Let's see.
Oh no, theirs is worth more. Wait, what? I'm so lost.
5,600 South Korean won is, it says 4.11. Is that $4.11?
No, so
That can't be
no,
right.
so one Korean won is worth 0.00073 of our money. So our money is worth, like, their money is,
Higher. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm sitting there going, what the?
no. Our money's higher
Our money,
because
yes.
they have. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm not. I'm gonna stop confusing myself.
Yeah, because it's showing that it's $4.10.
No,
50.
Adam. No, that's not right at all. That is not right. Okay. Well, cause Okay,
Oh,
I don't know because mine says it's basically their one is worth like way less than a penny in the U.S.
5,600, right? Is it 5,600 is what he
5,600.
Okay.
It
So
might be 56,000.
I was gonna say for if you're saying 5,600, that's 5,600,
All I heard's the
which
I don't
is
know.
worth $4.10 in the US.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's just baffling.
Oh my god. 1 US dollar. Wait, who is this? Please tell me it's wrong. Okay. I don't know if this is correct, but 1 US dollar equals $1,000 in Korea.
$1? What?
I'm gonna stop looking this up because I think I'm wrong. Please ignore everything I just said. If you
Yeah,
know,
how much is $1 in the US? In the US and Korea, $1 equals $1,359.
what is that dollars or Korean won?
Korean won. Korean won.
But
So
hmm, I'm still confused
we'll have to
because
look at this later.
people are like because people go to because it's not one won 2 won in Korea. It's like 10,000 won, which is like
So a
a
thousand
dollar.
wons equals our 73 cents. So
Okay,
yeah, so 1,000 of their
so like
won.
10,000 won is like $10 almost, basically,
I could see.
or like at $8, I guess.
Close to it, like 730.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's about $8.
so wait, so there our money's worth more.
Yes, our money's worth more because their one
Yeah,
is like in America now today's is like chump change.
yeah.
So
Either way, the surgeon
that's
was
ridiculous.
the surgeon was
Sorry,
fine.
sidetrack. I just had to see because that did sound.
It was like whoa. Also, I don't think this is right. I think it was $56,000 he paid for the thing. Um, if it was 5,600, it might have been. Guys, I don't know.
Either way,
The source that I read said 5,600, but that just doesn't make sense to me. But it also might be different because it's in Korea.
yeah.
So I'm so sorry.
Either
But
way, he didn't get what he deserved.
no. So the surgeon paid $5,600, or basically whatever day he paid back, and he was fined for that. And then he got 3 years in prison.
Good. He should have got life.
Should have got
But
more.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, he got something.
Take a
And
life
then
for a life.
yeah,
Sorry.
Daehee's mom wanted CCTV footages in all operating rooms. She was protesting for it. She wanted it for everything because it saved her. It saved her case. So the bill actually passed, and it was called the Kwon Dae-hee law.
Yeah.
The only exception for this law is that if a person is actively dying in critical condition and they need to go in the operating room, because there's so much gray area here, you can't tell a doctor to do their job a certain way when someone is dying because their
Correct.
brain's going 5,000 miles
I
an
mean, that
hour.
does make sense. Life, I mean,
So
threatening life.
I do understand that part. If the patient is literally in critical condition, then you can't really use a CCTV footage because it's like, oh yeah, I could have done this. I just didn't think of it in that moment because all I was trying to do was save this person's life.
Yeah.
So that's the only gray area of the law. But this is Korea was the first country to have this nationally. So now there's CCTV footages in all of the operating rooms in
Good,
Korea.
as there should be, because that should have one never happened, and two, he should have never lost his
It was
life.
just yeah, I just feel so bad. He seemed like such like a humble, and I always say this because it's like these people don't deserve it, and
No,
they
they don't.
definitely get it.
There's some people that
Um,
deserve things in this world, trust me. Don't get me wrong, but there are at least a good handful
that don't.
that don't deserve it and got the raw end of the stick
Yeah.
at bad hands.
Yes, I agree. So other cases such like that, there's so many other ghost doctor cases. Like, there was so many, but Mr. Park was one of them. I don't know his actual like name, of course, but we just call him Mr. Park by his last name, or his surname. Uh, he wanted jaw surgery as well, and he didn't feel like there was something about he just had a gut feeling. He's like, this is not like this surgeon's being too nice. He's being like, there's no way they're gonna get me out that quick. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to go home after
Yeah.
this. And so he put a recorder in his pocket during the surgery.
Smart man.
Which is so crazy how he
Because
got that in there
yeah,
because
because normally you're in a gown and you're in your birthday suit under the gown.
somehow
You're very
he got,
exposed.
yeah,
Here in the US, at least.
somehow he had a recorder in the operating room with him, and he heard the surgeon leave and some random guy come in, and he was just too afraid to talk about it because plastic surgery isn't talked about in Korea. It's a
It
well-known
should be.
thing.
It should be.
Well, yeah, but it's like it's a well-known thing, but it's not like you go around saying like, "Oh, I got plastic
Like I
surgery to
got my
get a
lips
job."
done or my jaw or my tummy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you don't
Not
talk
like here.
yeah, you don't really talk about it. And because it's more of a professional thing, you get it because you want a job.
Which is
And
sad
so,
though. I feel like
yeah,
people who have that experience or stuff should be
they
feel
should be
okay
able to
to
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah. And then another, this one's really sad. It was a high school girl, and she paid for double eyelid surgery. Um, and the surgeon had left, and a little while later the ghost doctor comes in, and her like monitor that was monitoring like her vitals was off, and so they turned it back on, and her oxygen or like blood oxygen levels were just dropping, and she ended up going like fucking brain dead. She was brain
Well,
dead,
yeah.
and
Oxygen.
the real surgeon told the ghost doctor and was like, just keep operating, like just do a nose job. She didn't ask for a nose job, she asked for double eyelids, so they did the double eyelid plus the nose job, and
Oh my
they kept
lordy.
operating on literally a person that was dying because they wanted to be like, oh, she was fine, the surgery went great, and but then after the surgery she just immediately started declining, and yeah, that's basically what they tried to blame it on.
Oh my
And
lord.
yeah, it was really upsetting.
That poor girl. Poor all these people.
It was really upsetting.
Oh,
Yeah, it baffled me. I was so upset for everyone, but it's just like,
why?
why?
Why do that? Ugh,
But yeah, that's the ghost doctor industry in
that is
Korea.
crazy.
Don't get me wrong. Please, I don't think I said this. This doesn't just happen in Korea.
I think
It's
it
just
happens other
it
places though.
happens everywhere in the world. But it's been brought up to attention in Korea, and that's why we talk about it happening there. It happens everywhere in the world. It happens in every country.
It kind of. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Oh, it kind of. I was watching this TikTok and it kind of made me think of that kind of whole situation. This doctor, they had a nickname for him. I don't know if it was like Doctor, not Doctor Death, Doctor something. But he would go in, it would be normal looking people. They would want, it was a plastic surgeon, and I think it had to do, I don't know if it was China, Korea, one of them. And they're like, oh, okay, um, can you, I just want a little lift or this and that.
Hmm.
They would come out looking like Frankenstein.
I think I know what you're talking
I saw it
about.
on TikTok.
Is it a show?
No, it
It's
literally,
like a real case.
yeah, real cases.
It must be something like this
Yeah,
then.
because I'll have to show you after. I'll find it after and
Yeah.
let you know. But this poor
I'll
guy went
find it,
in.
and if we find the TikTok, I'll put it
Yeah,
on Instagram on our story, and like I'll post
this
that and be like, "This is Ghost Doctor." I'll post it with the
and
Instagram.
this doctor would literally like this guy looked he looked good. Like he was an older man. I think he just wanted a little lift, as some you get older, things get
Yeah,
saggy. Didn't even look like him coming out.
that's so
He had
crazy.
like sutures and staples all around here. His face was so skin tight. It looked like literally Frankenstein.
That's so
It was
sad.
sad. I'll have
Yeah,
to find the video.
that's plastic surgery for you. So we're gonna move into story two, but before we move into story two, I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna pause the video because my mom texted me. I saw my mom text me, and I need to check my mom. So we're gonna pause real quick,
I gotta
and
take my
then we'll
vitamins.
come back. Mwah.
Sorry.
Back? No, you're fine.
They take me a while to chew. They're super chewy.
You're so fine. Okay, so back on track for story number two, which doesn't have to do with plastic surgery, but it's still hospital surgery, and I thought it was crazy. So we're gonna do it because why not?
Right?
Okay. So story number two is a really quick one. That's why I wanted to do the plastic surgery one first because I was like, this one's more insane. We're gonna have to talk about this one more. This one's pretty quick, but it needs to be talked about because I feel like it's not talked about enough, even though a famous actor is involved in this. So, Lee, guys, bear with me with the Creed names, please. Lee Sang Hee, Lee Sang Hee, I think it is, was number 17 in the Squid Games. If you don't remember him, I'm pretty sure he was like during the glass bridge scene. He ends
Mm.
up dying. He's like an older man in the
Sorry, spoiler if y'all didn't see it, but
yeah, I didn't see it. I just know this because I looked it up. But yeah, he ends up dying. I mean, literally everyone in that game dies except for like the main characters. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I didn't watch it. So
I
yeah.
didn't watch the original Squid Game, but I watched the Squid Game challenge one.
Oh
That was
yeah.
cool to watch.
Anyway, so he had like little acting jobs here and there. He wasn't super A-list celebrity famous, of course, but he had acting jobs and he was successful. They had some money, not a lot, but they got by. In 2016, the Lee family, so I believe, I don't know how big the family was. I believe it was just a couple siblings and then the mom and dad. But they went on to a reality show called Unanswered Questions, which is, it's basically like where families come and open up about situations and they get like, unanswered questions. It's like, what are situations in your life that you just wish were answered?
Mm-hmm.
The Lee family opened up about their son's murder.
Ooh.
Um, in 2010. So this one's just really like it's just upsetting because none of it was taken care of correctly. Um, but Lee Jin Soo was I'm just gonna call him Jin. But he was the oldest son at 19 years old,
Okay.
and his dream was to go to the U.S. and to like study abroad. He wanted to study abroad. He wanted to go to the U.S. and he wanted to have fun, and just experience American
Culture.
culture. Yeah, exactly. Um, so the parents were obviously extremely nervous for their son to go to the US by himself, but he wouldn't be completely alone because they had a couple family members that lived in California.
Okay.
So they had like his uncle and his aunt and all that.
So
So
familiar.
yeah, I don't think the parents had ever been themselves, but they let Jin go. He was 18, no, 19 years old, so he was like able to make his own decisions
Mm-hmm.
type of deal. So he went away to America and went to LA, and every morning, um this his mom prayed for him, and he was like, not prayed for him, but just prayed for the day. So she would wake up and she would pray. She'd be like, "Let's have a great day today. I hope my son's doing well." Like she would always add
Aww.
something in about her son.
Sweet mama.
And so one day she prays, and she prayed that she would see him soon. And then immediately after she's done praying, she sees her son walk through the door. And it's not like one of those things where you're like, "Oh my god, my son just came home to surprise me." She immediately just felt chills. She was like, chills. She got an eerie feeling. She's like,
Ew.
"This isn't right." Um, her son opened his mouth to speak to her, and blood started coming out, and he just said, "I love you, mom." And then he was gone.
What the?
So she basically is. This is all alleged. She said that she had like an experience with Jin right before he passed.
Hmm.
So this is basically that was like a paranormal kind of thing where like he wasn't actually there, but she just felt like she saw him. She said that it was as physical as it could get. Like
Like
it
an
was
outer body. It was his
crazy.
outer body, like
Well,
spirit.
yeah, like she saw him.
Probably.
She saw him walk through the door and say, "I love you, mom," but there was blood like around his mouth.
Mm,
So it was just like him saying like his final goodbyes to
I'm a
his
firm
mom.
believer in that. Don't mess with the other
Me
side.
too. We should do ghost
We
stories
should.
next. We're gonna
Yes.
do ghost stories, but we're gonna do ghost stories eventually because we're both very big believers in ghosts. And if you're
And
not,
I
it's
had my own
okay.
experiences myself.
So did I. So yeah,
Yeah.
we should do ghost stories.
I'll add
That'll
mine.
be a Reddit one for sure. We'll
Yes.
look up ghost stories on Reddit. Okay, next Reddit done. But yeah, so she saw this and she was just so overwhelmed by this feeling after he was gone. She called the family in California, and as soon as she picks up, they were like, "We were just about to call you." And she's like, "Why?
Wow.
What happened to Jin?" She just knew something was wrong with
Mm-hmm.
him.
Mamas know best.
And That's what I also wrote down. I said mother's intuition. So much goes, like, there's so much theories behind mother's intuition,
Oh,
and
it's
it's just,
strong.
yeah, it's very, very, like, it's prominent. It's there. And so she had a feeling. She asks what happened to her son, and the uncle says that Jin had gotten into a fight with a another. This is where it gets fuzzy. She thought she heard the uncle say he got in a fight with a white football boy. That apparently, like, the uncle was like, no, I didn't say that. I just said he got in a fight with another boy. So that's just kind of like there was some miscommunication there.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Okay, I had to check something. So basically, where was I? Mother's intuition. They got something about like the boy. There was something misread,
Yes.
lost in translation. But basically, all she knew is Jin got into a fight. So Mr. Lee and Mrs. Lee, mind you, this is a famous actor's son, so this is crazy. It's
Okay.
not an A-list actor, so it wasn't put on the news a lot. Like, it was just very under the radar until it all blew up.
Sad.
Um, so they make arrangements to immediately fly out to California. It took them 48 hours. 48 hours to fly out to see
That's
their dad,
crazy.
to see their son. They knew their son was in the hospital, and
Mm-hmm.
they were like trying not to just like break down on these plane rides. So they made arrangements to go to California. As soon as the family shows up in California, the reporters are outside the hospital, and they're like,
The who?
"What?" The reporters are outside
Oh,
the hospital, and they're like, "Why did you decide to donate your son's body?" And the family's like, "We just flew in, like we just got here. We're not donating our son. Like, what are you talking about?"
right?
So they go inside, they get past the reporters, they go inside the hospital, and the doctors inform the family that Jin is he's in a coma. He's brain dead. He's hooked up to all these machines that are keeping him alive. And the family ultimately decided to stop the machines from like take him off the machines because they
Mm-hmm.
knew
Life
that
support.
yeah, they knew he was going to die eventually and they didn't want him to suffer. And they honestly it was so expensive to keep him on it and they didn't have that money at all.
And he was brain dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
He
would be
was
no.
he was
He'd be
gone.
a vegetable state if they
Yeah.
were to keep him.
So his family decided to take him off of life support. And they eventually the people came in of course and they were like, "Do you want to donate his body and his organs?" And they said, "Yeah, we want to donate his organs." Um they print out the papers, it's like, "Here's the papers that you need to sign for him to donate the body." A nurse pulls Mrs. Lee aside and is like, "We need to go to a room without cameras." She's freaked out because, mind you, there's a language barrier. They're from
Yeah.
Korea, she's from America. There's something not right here. So she goes and they go into another separate room, and the nurse is like, "Do you know what you're signing up for?" And Mrs. Lee's like, "Yeah, we're donating his organs." Mind you, I kept switching between body and organs. The nurse is like, "No, you're donating his body. You will have no body to bury. You will not be able to take him back to Korea. He will stay here. And you're not just donating his organs." And then the nurse slips and she said, "This might have been a murder, so save it for the autopsy." And the mom's like, "I didn't know that this was a murder. I thought this was a freak accident."
Wow.
So thank goodness for that nurse because if not, this family would not have the body of their son,
Yeah.
their eldest son.
I mean, the nurse was definitely, I think she was protecting her own license and her ass too, but she was also looking out for the family too.
Yeah,
Because she was like, if this goes down, I ain't going down, kind of thing. I
exactly.
would have done the same thing.
Exactly.
I would
And
have been like,
so,
no, I'm not going down for this.
yeah.
No, because the first person they're going to look at is the nurses. And
Mhm.
then they're going to try to get, because we're more, um, what's the word? Exposable than doctors.
Yeah.
So,
No, I totally
unfortunately.
understand that. I understand why the nurse did it, but the nurse also really did it to protect them and herself.
Mm-hmm.
So Jen's mom was, of course, taken aback. She was like, did not know that this was a
Yeah.
full body donation. Because again, there's a language barrier, so she can't fully
Which
read
is weird
everything.
because normally there's just the organ donation,
Well, because
or
you
you
can.
could donate the body to science.
So,
Those are two
okay.
different things.
So, because you brought that up, Oh, it was
Yeah.
my next bullet point, so you're perfect. Um, Whole body donations
Mm-hmm.
aren't federally approved.
Mm-mm.
They're not. So basically, like what, like I called them and what Stephanie Sue called them was corpse dealers. These people will come in and they will be like, they'll pick on vulnerable people. So this is why they picked on people that didn't really fully understand English. And they're like, here's it. You're gonna donate the organs. You're gonna donate this part of the body, and the people will sign it, and then that body will be theirs, and they won't find out for a while. And these corpse dealers will then sell it to science, so that they get a lot of money.
So your great grandpa. So
Don't tell
Gigi.
me my great grandma was sold to science.
He was
Actually,
Gigi's
that's
dad.
crazy.
Gigi's dad. When he died, they donated his body to science. Donated his body to science. I don't know,
Quote unquote.
quote unquote. But yeah, he was given to science. I don't even know if anything ever came up from that.
Because donating to science isn't federally approved.
So your great grandfather was
He's a scam.
was scammed.
Oh
His
my
corpse
god,
was scammed.
that's so sad.
Her dad.
But like,
Yeah.
no, like that's what I'm talking about. Full body donations aren't approved because
No.
it's like you're okay. Organ donations.
I'm an organ donor.
Yeah,
but
me
don't
too.
donate my whole body.
Me too. I'm actually an organ donor.
It says on my
at the,
license.
They asked me on the DMV. They're like, "Do you
Do
want
you
to
got
be
a
an organ?
heart
Do
on
you
your
want to be an organ
license?
donor?" Yeah, I do. I have a heart on my license. They're like, "Do you want to be an organ donor?" I was like, "Yes." They're like, "Cool," but like full body is not approved
No.
by federal agencies. Organs are approved. So these corpse dealers will slip that full will slip up the word body and organ because you saw me doing it. I'm sure. I don't know if y'all caught on to that. I was switching between body and organ.
Yeah.
Congratulations, because most
There's-
people wouldn't.
No, there's totally two different things.
But I kept saying body, organ, body, organ, body, organ. But basically, they would pick on these vulnerable people and sell them to science, and that was how this thing worked. And when Mrs. Lee came back and was like, "Yeah, we're not donating," these corpse dealers flipped out. They were very aggressive to the point where the family like locked the door to the well,
It's like a little room they put you in if
The-
something
yeah.
happened, like a little quiet conference room.
yeah, they locked the door to the conference room so that the corpse dealers couldn't get to them
Good.
because they were so aggressive.
Like hounding them?
Because they were like, "We already printed the papers. You have to sign."
No, I don't.
Blah blah. And so they were removed and they were done for. Like it was done.
Oh, I wish
But-
I was a nurse then, because I would have been like, she does not have to sign.
She doesn't have to do it. But basically they got an autopsy because the
Okay.
mom was like, "This person told me something's wrong, so I'm going to find out what's wrong with my son."
Yeah.
The cause of death was ruled as a brain hemorrhage, caused by blunt force trauma.
Mm.
This is when the LAPD obviously started taking it seriously as a homicide, and like I already told you, there was a slip up between the white football player and not. This person ended up being a soccer player that was also Korean. So this
Football player?
yeah, that's where I was kind of like, well, it could have been, crap. Pause again.
Sorry, guys. Pause. All right.
Okay, back on track.
Sorry.
So, yeah. If there's multiple like pauses during these videos, it's just because we're filming at a really awkward time.
Mhm.
So I'm not supposed to be here right now. I'm supposed to be at my mom's house. So I'm just trying to like answer calls and like text with her just to make her because I film on my phone. So yeah,
So, yeah.
that's the problem.
It's
here.
just easier for her to do it.
Yeah,
on her
because then I
phone.
edit it on my phone and then I just do all that.
She does all the
Upload it
editing.
on my phone. So anyway, where was I? So the LAPD started, oh wait, no, yeah, they started treating it as a homicide.
Yeah.
This friend was a soccer player. He was from Korea. They were acquaintances at first, Jin and this friend. And we need to give him a fake name because I don't know his real name. Because he was 17 at the time, so it was protective, of course. Give me a fake name.
We'll do Marshall.
So Marshall and Jin, Marshall's parents were from Korea, so he was Korean. He's considered like Korean American because he didn't necessarily follow like normal, obviously Korean customs
Yeah.
if you were growing up in Korea. So these two friends, Jin and Marshall, were acquaintances, and at Jin's birthday party, witnesses saw Jin's uncle and Marshall kind of having an exchange. Marshall, like, because in America it's normal to be like, hey, like
Yeah.
that's not offensive, but in Korea it's extremely offensive, especially if this person is older than you. So Jin's uncle was obviously a lot older than Marshall,
Yeah.
and he tapped on his shoulder and was like, "Hey," and like started talking to him. And Jin's uncle was like, you're not gonna talk to me like that in my house." So it was kind of like an exchange, and
Mhm.
Jin went to his friend Marshall, and he was like, can you be more respectful? Like we're from like I just moved here from Korea. Like
Like
you need
they're
they're like very very like
traditional.
traditional,
Yeah.
yes. So you need to be more respectful, and that's kind of where the tension started apparently. And it just kind of boiled and boiled and boiled on top of that. I guess Jin made some comments about like you need to call me Oppa, which basically means older brother in Korean, because Jin was 2 years older than Marshall. Marshall was 17, Jin was 19. So he's like, oh, you need to call me Oppa, you need to treat me with respect, I'm your elder, blah, blah, blah. Which witnesses says it was more like teasing way, but they weren't really sure, and they
Like here
just
in
think,
America, I'd have been like, no, I ain't calling you all that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
But
unless it's obviously
it's culture.
somebody's culture, then yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah, and I just think it got under Marshall's skin that he wasn't older and that he wasn't that he felt like he had to abide by these rules. But again, witnesses said it was very playful and they didn't think that Jin was being serious when he said these things. So it was just kind of odd. And then so this really good tension began to build, and then one day, Jen and Marshall were outside, and they were kind of bickering with each other, like, like arguing, kind of. But it wasn't said over what because there was really no witnesses around. So this is all from what Marshall said. But Marshall said that Jin had thrown the first punch. Jin had punched Marshall, and Marshall had his soccer cleats on, and he kicked Jin in the head twice. Which
That'll do it.
I'm sorry, I don't really believe that though, because it's like
Those have
if I
spikes though.
punch, no, I know,
Yeah.
but if I punch you, your immediate reaction is to whip your leg up and kick me. These are tall men too. It's like,
I would have threw a punch then a kick in
but then
defense.
so that's what in the Rotten Mango video, Stephanie Sue's fiance was like, you kick when someone's on the ground.
Yeah,
So
like you kick
maybe
them,
there wasn't, maybe he left out context.
or well, because here it's UFC fighting, MMA fighting. A lot of them do kick, but they kick at the unless they're really trying to cause trouble. Normally they kick from the waist below. They
Gotcha.
try to hit them in the kneecap to have them fall.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So unless he's watching too much MMA and decided he wanted to take a headshot, that's the only thing I could think of.
So, yeah, so there's a little bit more on this part later, but he kicks them technically with soccer cleats. This was his excuse. He kicked him twice with soccer cleats. This altercation happened within 30 seconds. It was over super quick. A teacher broke it up, and they both walked inside. But as soon as they walked inside, Jin just collapsed, and he never woke back up. And that's what Marshall said. That's what this friend said.
Okay.
Lee family gets an attorney because they're like, honey, like we're not just letting this go. So the Lee family gets an attorney, and they're back in Korea by now.
Yeah.
This case is still happening in LA. So they, what is it? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Where am I? I can't read my notes. They're in Korea. They can't reach their attorney after a while, and they're like, they thought they
Yeah.
wanted to check up on the case. They thought it was being taken care of because they were in Korea. They thought it was being taken care of in LA. They couldn't reach the attorney, and then police calls them and they're like, "Oh, we dropped all the charges. I don't know who didn't tell you, but we just dropped all the charges." And the Lee family was like, "What? Why didn't no one tell us?" They were obviously heartbroken.
Wow.
And Marshall, this friend, ironically moves to Korea, and
Well, now he's there's nothing against him, so he
he's
can go.
there. But as this is the thing, as immigrants, if your parents immigrant to another country, it's very unlikely for the child to then go back
He ran
and
away.
live there. So the theory
He's
is that he
fleeting.
ran away and that he was scared because he was going to get caught for this. So the family wanted the police records, but they were somehow destroyed. Which, side note, records don't get destroyed.
Unless they're seized.
Yeah. So records don't get destroyed. They are kept in it can go in a case file. They're kept there.
and
You don't
and that'll be
destroy
like
records.
what's would be called seized. Like if they are really seized and not able to get the public, that means that somebody paid to have those seized. Like nobody could see them, nobody could look at
But
them,
they weren't
nothing.
even that. Like, I'm talking, these papers were ripped to
Oh, then somebody's
shreds.
working on the inside.
Maybe. I don't know. So this is all, of course, our conspiracy theories of what we're talking about.
I'm like, somebody's working on
Someone's
the
working on it. Inside.
inside. I watch too much
That's
detective shows.
never that was never really confirmed. But one of the theories, I'll put it in here right now, was that Marshall's family was just very wealthy. And
That explains it.
maybe, but of course that's not confirmed. But yeah, so the family wanted the records, but most of them were destroyed. Some of the surviving records said that Jin had an alcohol level of 0.10, so he was considered drunk during the time of the altercation.
Drunk and fell and hit his head kind of thing?
No, no,
Or
no, no,
just
no, no.
drunk?
Just drunk during the
Okay.
fight. But the hospital records that he, like, when he actually went to the hospital, only showed that he had a blood alcohol level of 0.01. So he was sober. So one of them's lying, and my guess is it's not the hospital.
No, because they do intensive blood tests.
Yeah. So, but it also could have been, it also could, let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say the hospital was messing up and they were like, yeah, they flipped the numbers around because it's just a 1 and a 0. Like, you can obviously flip it around. What if he was drunk and the police were like, yeah, he was drunk and it actually all lined up? Who knows, but who cares? He still lost his life.
I don't know.
Either way, it was a mess up between the hospital and the police. And the police said that they looked over the facts and they believed it was an accident. And the family obviously was not very happy. Got a second autopsy. And that autopsy said the cause of death was a very large thing hitting him in the stomach. Could have been soccer cleats kicking him in the stomach, which also led to a brain hemorrhage. So
This
you're
is
seeing
just
about, like, okay, yeah, you're not gonna kick someone in the face when they're standing up, but you might kick them below, like in
Yeah.
stomach area.
Stomach or kneecaps or
That seemed more
like
believable to me when that
yeah.
information was brought up. I was like, yeah,
Because in order to knock somebody down, like if you're not gonna throw a punch, if you're gonna throw a kick, you're gonna go for the midline all the way down.
exactly. So,
Unless you're Spider-Man and got them really long legs and to their head, but
so the whole question was like, did the friend kick him more than he said that he did? Where did he
I think
exactly
so.
kick him? So yeah, it was just very, Jesus, my phone's just not liking us today. Like this, my phone is just keeps
It's because
causing
we're
problems.
recording on a really weird day.
It's really weird. Okay, we're almost done though, I promise. So they take him to court. Family sued Marshall for wrongful death, and they actually won the appeal, which is very, very rare in Korea. Very, very rare all around. But they won the appeal, and Marshall was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Wow.
Which isn't that much for potentially killing somebody. I don't want to say that he did because, of course, it is a cold case. They don't really actually know who did it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
The father, who is the, actor, Lee Sang-hee, Mr. Lee, he said, he had a lot of guilt. And he said, quote, I feel sorry for my son, that his dad was so powerless. I feel sorry that even after, he can't rest in peace, end quote. So he felt very, responsible, that he didn't have enough money, that he wasn't such a successful actor, that he could pay for all of these big fancy lawyers, big fancy things. He wasn't more well respected. And so he felt super bad about all of that. He felt a lot of it was his fault, which, sir, it is not your fault. It's totally, none of it's your fault.
No.
But in this whole, because this was all brought up in the series, in the reality show they went on. And in this reality show, Mr. Lee was asked what he would do if Squid Games was real and if he had money. Or if he won Squid Games and he got all the money. And he said he would build an acting school for actors like himself so that they would have a chance in the industry.
Aww.
And he said he would, it was said that he really loved acting because Jin would, even though Jin had no clue how to act, or I'm sure he had some clue because his dad was an actor, but he would always give his dad acting tips. He'd be like, you need to do this for the audition, you need to do this.
So try to be supportive, but critique. Yeah,
he would critique his dad's acting, which is basically what was said. But yeah, that was a little, I wanted to share that one because it had something to do with the hospitals. It also had something to do with celebrities, which we just had the Met Gala, so I feel like it fit in a little.
It did. It fit in well.
And I don't know, I feel like, small actors need their I feel like a lot of
They
stuff
need a big
happens.
break.
A lot of stuff happens to people who don't deserve it.
No.
And, you know, this guy, he was working on his acting career. Being in Squid Games was probably one of the best things he was known for. And, you know, he got fame for it, and now he's able to share the story of his son. So it's really, really, I think it's touching. I
It
like it.
is.
But yeah, that was my second story.
Good job.
Ghost doctors and I don't
Wrongful
even
deaths
know,
and-
wrongful deaths, and yeah, watch out, guys. Don't be caught by ghost doctors, I guess.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I really don't know if anyone has experience with ghost doctors. I hope you don't. But
No.
yeah, that's terrifying. But yeah, that was my story.
That's good.
Stories, I should say.
Stories.
Yeah, all my little stories.
Well, we'll have to record again.
Yes, more videos. I promise this one's coming
Yes.
out. Yeah. We're not going to do that again. Hopefully.
No.
I'm not promising anything, but
I mean, with
Our
summer
int-
coming up, it should be pretty.
yeah, our intentions aren't to do that again. So
No, we
it'll
just
be
had a
more
lot in the last 2 months that were really, really close
crammed
together.
up. Yeah, because after I came back from Utah, I had my 16th birthday party, and then after that, I had other tournaments each weekend.
And then I had surgery.
And then she had surgery, and
now we're here.
now we're at finals weeks, and we're going crazy. So yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so those are my stories, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you had fun.
I did. Yeah,
It was fun
good.
getting back into this.
It was.
So
Well missed. Well missed.
well missed. We will be back
Yes.
shortly, because we're not going anywhere.
No.
I'm Allie.
I'm Kara.
Good night.
Good night.